Sir Donald George Bradman, AC, the 27th of August 1908 to the 25th of February 2001, often referred to as the Don, was an Australian international cricketer, widely acknowledged as the greatest batsman of all time. Bradman's career Test batting average of 99.94 has been cited as the greatest achievement by any sportsman in any major sport. The story that the young Bradman practiced alone with a cricket stump and a golf ball is part of Australian folklore. Bradman's meteoric rise from bush cricket to the Australian Test team took just over 2 years. Before his 22nd birthday, he had set many records for top scoring, some of which still stand, and became Australia's sporting idol at the height of the Great Depression. Early life. Sir Donald George Bradman was born on August 27, 1908 in the small country town of Cootamundra, New South Wales, Australia. He was the only son of George and Emily Bradman. He was raised in a religious Presbyterian family. Bradman's father was a successful local stonemason and his mother was a schoolteacher. As a child, Bradman played cricket with a golf ball and a cricket stump in his backyard. His father built him a cricket pitch and he practiced batting and bowling for hours every day. He developed a unique technique which he later applied to the game of cricket. At the age of 12, Bradman attended Bowral Public School and joined a local cricket club. He quickly gained recognition for his outstanding cricketing ability, and at the age of 18, he was selected to play for the New South Wales state team. Bradman made his first-class debut in 1927, and the following year he scored his first double century. In 1930, Bradman made his Test debut for the Australian cricket team. He quickly established himself as one of the world's greatest batsmen, and in the space of just 3 years he had scored 5,028 runs at an average of 98.94. This remains the highest ever Test batting average. Throughout his 20-year international career, Bradman scored 6,996 runs at an average of 99.94 in Test cricket, and was universally regarded as the greatest batsman of all time. He retired from cricket in 1948, but his legacy lives on to this day. Education. Don Bradman was educated at the Bowral Public School in the New South Wales Southern Highlands. He was not a particularly outstanding student and was initially considered a mediocre student, although he did excel in mathematics and the humanities. Bradman also attended the East Sydney Technical College, where he studied commerce and accountancy. Early cricket career. Don Bradman began playing cricket at an early age. He was born in Cootamundra, New South Wales, Australia, and he was first exposed to the game when he was 6 years old. He joined a local team and developed his cricketing skills at a young age. Bradman's early cricket career began to take off when he was selected to play for his local team, the Bowral Cricket Club, at the age of 12. His batting skills were impressive from the start, and he scored a century in his debut match for the club. By the time he was 16, Bradman had made his first-class debut for New South Wales. This was the start of a career that would see him break records and become an icon of the sport. Bradman was known for his technical excellence and his ability to amass large scores quickly. In 1930, Bradman was selected to play for Australia in a Test match against England. He scored a century in his debut match and went on to score centuries in each of the 5 Tests in the series. By the time he retired in 1948, he held the record for the most Test runs scored, most centuries scored, and the highest batting average in Test cricket history. Professional cricket career. Don Bradman was one of the greatest cricketers to ever play the game. He began his professional cricket career in 1927, when he made his debut for New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield. In his first season of first-class cricket, he scored 974 runs, including 4 centuries at an average of almost 70. He would go on to play for Australia in Test cricket from 1928 to 1948, and scored a total of 6,996 runs at an astonishing average of 99.94, a record which still stands today. He was also a great captain, leading Australia to victory in 3 consecutive Ashes series from 1936 to 1938. Bradman was named Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1938 and was inducted into the ICC Cricket Hall of Fame in 2009. International cricket career. Don Bradman is widely regarded as one of the greatest cricketers of all time. He is often referred to as the Don. During his international cricket career, he represented Australia in 52 Test matches, scoring a record 6,996 runs at an average of 99.94. He scored a record 29 centuries and 12 double centuries, including a highest score of 334. His career batting average of 99.94 remains unsurpassed in the history of Test cricket. He also captained Australia in 28 Tests, winning 24 and drawing the other 4. Bradman also played first-class cricket for his home state of New South Wales, for the Australian 11 and for South Australia. He captained South Australia for 3 seasons, from 1935 to 1937. Bradman was also a successful cricket administrator, playing a key role in the development of the international game, especially in the establishment of the World Series Cup. He was made an Officer of the Order of the British Empire for his services to cricket. He was also named Wisden Cricketer of the Century in 2000, and the International Cricket Council inducted him into the Hall of Fame in 2009. Test cricket record. Don Bradman is widely considered to be the greatest Test batsman of all time. He played in 52 Test matches between 1928 and 1948, scoring 6,996 runs at an average of 99.94. This average is one of the highest ever achieved in Test cricket, and it remains unbeaten to this day. Bradman scored 29 Test centuries, 100 runs or more in a single innings, and 12 double centuries, 200 runs or more in a single innings. He also holds the record for highest Test score, with 334 not out against England in 1930. Achievements. He is one of the greatest cricketers of all time. He scored 6,996 runs in Test cricket at an average of 99.94, which is still a record. He scored the highest individual Test score of 334 in a single innings. He scored 12 double centuries in his Test career, which is still a record. He scored 30 centuries in his Test career, which is still a record. He scored 5,028 runs in first-class cricket at an average of 95.14, which is still a record. He scored a total of 117 centuries in all forms of cricket, which is still a record. He scored the highest individual first-class score of 452 in a single innings. He scored 29 centuries in first-class cricket, which is still a record. He captained Australia in 24 Test matches, winning 18 and drawing 6. He was named Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1930. Awards and honours. Sir Donald Bradman was one of the greatest cricketers of all time. Throughout his career, he was honoured with numerous awards and accolades. Member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in 1949, Bradman was honoured with an MBE for his services to cricket. Australian Sports Medal. In 2000, Bradman was awarded the Australian Sports Medal for his contribution to cricket. Companion of the Order of Australia, AC, in 1979, Bradman was honoured with an AC for his services to cricket. New South Wales Hall of Champions. Bradman was inducted into the New South Wales Hall of Champions in 1985. Australian Cricket Hall of Fame. Bradman was inducted into the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame in 1996. International Cricket Council, ICC, Hall of Fame. Bradman was inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame in 2009. Bradman Oration. Since 2001, the Bradman Oration has been held annually to commemorate the great cricketer's achievements. Bradman Foundation. The Bradman Foundation was established in 1987 to promote the game of cricket and to preserve the memory of Bradman. Retirement and later life. Upon retirement from international cricket in 1948, Don Bradman remained active in cricket, becoming a selector for the Australian team and a trustee of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. In 1949, he was knighted for services to cricket. He also became a prolific author, publishing several books on the history and development of cricket. In the 1950s, he served as the chairman of the Imperial Cricket Conference and was instrumental in the organisation of the first World Cup, held in England in 1975. In the 1960s, he became president of the Australian Board of Control for International Cricket and continued to serve in this capacity until 1975. During this time, Bradman also served as a cricket commentator and was a keen observer of the game. He was known for his astute comments and was often consulted on cricket-related matters. Bradman also remained a prolific fundraiser for cricket, raising millions of dollars for the sport. He was also a keen philanthropist, giving generously to various charities throughout his life. In the later years of his life, he suffered from ill health and was confined to a wheelchair. He passed away in 2001 at the age of 92. He was remembered fondly by the cricketing world, and his legacy continues to this day. Contribution to cricket. Sir Donald Bradman is widely considered to be the greatest cricketer ever to have lived. His contribution to the game of cricket was immense, and his impact on the sport can still be felt today. Bradman was an innovator, introducing a number of techniques that changed the way the game was played. He was the first batsman to use the slog, a powerful shot that sent the ball to the boundary. He also developed a revolutionary batting technique, known as the Bradman grip, which allowed him to hit the ball with greater accuracy and power. The Australian batsman also changed the way cricket was viewed by the public. His spectacular batting performances attracted large crowds, and he was the first cricketer to become a household name. In addition to his batting, Bradman was an astute captain, leading Australia to a number of Ashes victories during his career. He also made a major contribution to the development of Australian cricket by coaching the national team between 1949 and 1956. Bradman's legacy continues to this day. His batting average of 99.94 is still the highest in Test cricket, and his name is synonymous with excellence in the sport. Personal life. He was the youngest of 5 children born to George and Emily Bradman. His father had emigrated from England and worked as a blacksmith, while his mother had emigrated from Scotland. Bradman was introduced to cricket at a young age by his father, who played the game and taught him how to bat. Bradman's cricket career began in the late 1920s when he was selected to play for his local club, Bowral. He quickly became one of the most recognisable figures in Australian cricket and, by the early 1930s, he had become the best batsman in the world. Bradman married his childhood sweetheart, Jessie Menzies, in 1932. The couple had 3 children together: John, Elizabeth, and Shirley. Bradman retired from cricket in 1948 and moved to Adelaide, where he and Jessie lived for the rest of their lives. Bradman was an intensely private person, rarely giving interviews or appearing in public. He passed away on February 25, 2001, at the age of 92. He is remembered as one of the greatest cricketers of all time, and his cricketing achievements remain unmatched. Legacy. The Don Bradman legacy is a legacy that celebrates the life and achievements of the greatest cricket batsman of all time, Sir Donald Bradman. Bradman is remembered for his outstanding batting record and for his influence on the game of cricket, both during and after his playing career. His legacy includes the Bradman Museum and International Cricket Hall of Fame in Bowral, New South Wales, Australia. This museum houses many of Bradman's personal items, including his cricket bats, photographs, and memorabilia. It also houses an interactive exhibition of his life and cricket career. The museum also houses a library of books and articles about Bradman, as well as a collection of cricket memorabilia. The Don Bradman Foundation is an organization that also works to preserve Bradman's legacy. The foundation runs a range of programs and initiatives to promote cricket and the values of fair play and sportsmanship. These include the annual Bradman Scholarships and the Bradman Awards, which recognize the achievements of young cricketers. The Don Bradman Cricket Academy is another initiative run by the foundation. The academy offers coaching and mentoring to young cricketers in the game, with a focus on developing the skills and values of the game. The Academy also runs a range of tournaments and competitions, including the Bradman Cup. Sir Donald Bradman is a true Australian sporting legend, and his legacy will continue to live on for many generations to come. Interesting facts. Don or Donald Bradman was born at a nursing home on 89 Adams Street, Cootamundra, 320 km southwest of Sydney, on August 27 in 1908. He used to play competitive tennis when he was 10. Don's father first took him to the Sydney Cricket Ground in 1921. As a teenager, he would hit a golf ball with a stump into the brick base of the family water tank to develop hand-eye coordination. His first game of cricket was at 11 for his school at Glebe Park in Bowral. He batted at number 4 and scored 55 not out. 1 year later, in his second game for Bowral High School Senior 11, Bradman scored his first ever century. He scored 115 and also took 8 wickets. In his first-class game on December 16, 1927, Bradman scored 118 runs against South Australia on the Adelaide Oval ground. He was the 20th Aussie to score a ton on first-class debut. At 20, Bradman was selected in the Australian Test squad against England. The match was played in Brisbane. On the 1930 Tour of England, Don began with a staggering innings of 236 runs against Worcester. This made him the youngest overseas player to score a double century in England. In his 80 Test innings, 10 of which were not out, Donald Bradman scored 6,996 runs at an average of 99.94. Bradman is the only Aussie who has twice scored a century and a duck in the same Test. He was the 21st Australian Test captain. Bradman was never stumped in Test matches. He had joined the Army in 1940 as a lieutenant. He was discharged in 1941 after suffering from fibrositis thrice. In 1948, he retired with a Test batting average of 99.94. 1 year later, he received a knighthood for his outstanding contribution to the game of cricket. Dear viewers, we have tried our best to provide you an informative video. Please comment that how did you find this video, because your opinion and comments are very important to us. If you like the video, please like and subscribe our channel so that you may be updated for our every informative video. Take care of your good self.